This is KGW News at noon.
Hello, I'm Christine Pitawanich. Thank you so much for joining us here at noon. Let's get things started with some of your local headlines today. The man police say caused a deadly wreck in Gresham Sunday night was scheduled to make his second appearance in court this morning. Nathaniel Franklin made his first appearance yesterday. Gresham police say Franklin crashed into 4 cars near Northeast Gleason and 147th Avenue while trying to get away from police. Investigators say both alcohol and speed were factors in that crash. And in the last 30 minutes, Portland police tell us a man who was shot in the chest and leg last week is awake, talking to detectives, and is recovering at the hospital. 58-year-old Andrew McNulty is accused of shooting him in Northeast Portland. McNulty made his first court appearance yesterday, charged with attempted murder. McNulty has been released until his next court appearance. And the Larch Corrections Center in Clark County will close this fall. Authorities say the reason is fewer people are being incarcerated there. The minimum security facility can hold 240 inmates. Officials say the 115 staff members who work there will be offered jobs in other facilities. And those are some of your local headlines. Okay, time now for a quick look at the weather. Panning out to be a pretty nice day, Rod.
Yeah, we are doing everything almost exactly the way we did yesterday, Christine. We had a mix of clouds this morning. Now I'm looking out the window just off to my left here in downtown, and we're getting lots of sun. We are continuing to follow this. Thunderstorms mainly in eastern Oregon, but we've got some strikes now starting to move up into Deschutes County as well. So far, the biggest show at noon is right over Burns. There's Malheur Lake, and there's right over the city pretty much numerous strikes. Some of these will have the potential to produce some very heavy rain. So if you're watching us from central Oregon, eastern Oregon, know that you should keep an eye to the sky this afternoon for potential thunderstorm development. Here on the west side, here's Cannon Beach. Nice morning, right? Or nice afternoon now, I should say. 61 degrees with partly cloudy skies. The Oregon Veterans Home camera out in the Dalles. You can see the leaves down here. It's been 25-mile-per-hour plus winds most of the day, so those breezes will be continuing for you. Portland is sitting at 69. That's 2 above yesterday. Yesterday we hit 81, so we'll assume we're at least going to get back up into the low 80s this afternoon. Here in the Valley, Portland, Vancouver, Salem, all of your plans for outdoor activity into this evening seem to be a go. Christine, the 7-day still warms up, and I'll have that for you coming up.
Okay, thank you so much, Rod. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office says deputies arrested 3 people for chucking rocks at cars. A cinder block apparently hit this car you see on your screen. Several drivers called 911 around 4 o'clock Monday morning, saying their cars got hit in Fairview. Some were driving on 223rd Avenue, others on I-84. Police found 2 minors and 1 adult trying to run away when they showed up. All 3 were booked for reckless endangerment. No one was seriously hurt. And today, online fundraisers to help the families of 2 nurses who were shot and killed at a recent music festival have surpassed their goals. A vigil in Seattle honored the 2 nurses last night. 29-year-old Brandy Escamilla and 26-year-old Jocelyn Ruiz were engaged and living in Seattle. They were shot to death in a campground next to the Gorge Amphitheater on June 17th. They were there for the Beyond Wonderland Festival.
They never got jaded with healthcare. They always wanted to give their best in terms of how they could help take care of people. I think that there is true selflessness in this world, and that Jocelyn and Brandy demonstrated that selflessness.
3 people were also hurt. The man accused in the shooting is still in jail. Police say he told investigators he was high on mushrooms and believed the world was ending when he fired off the shots. And a heads up, if you or anyone you know uses marijuana, the Oregon Liquor and Cannabis Commission is recalling several batches of flour and pre-rolls that tested positive for mold and heavy metals. About 75 retailers sold the batches from January to June 22nd of this year. Greenworks Farms, Rebel Spirit, and Nectar Markets LLC produced the affected products. Officials say if you bought the recalled products, you should destroy them. The OLCC has not received any health-related complaints. Go to oregon.gov/OLCC for more information. Now to Clark County, where the latest report shows homelessness there got worse in 2022. Data from the advocacy organization Council for the Homeless showed just over 9,000 people experienced homelessness last year. That is up from 6,200 people the year before in 2021. Nearly 2/3 of the homeless people in both years say they're newly homeless. The council says lack of affordable housing, high cost of rent and living, as well as stagnant wages are all to blame for the increase in homelessness. Meanwhile, outreach workers in Portland are shifting their efforts to a large homeless camp in Old Town. Their work is part of a program called Housing Multnomah Now, and the program's goal is to get 300 people off the streets within a year. This is also happening just ahead of the city's daytime camping ban, which goes into effect next week. One of the encampments they're reaching out to in Old Town is known as the Pit, located under the Steel Bridge. So far, outreach workers have contacted 140 homeless people living there, and they're also in the process of submitting housing applications for 14 of them. Yeah, that's a bit of a small number, we know, considering there are thousands of homeless people living throughout Portland. But the outreach workers say they have staffing constraints.
It's so few because it takes a lot of people to actually house and work with individuals.
This outreach effort in Old Town has been going on for 2 weeks now, and it ends this Friday. Portland's ban on daytime camping goes into effect next Friday, July 7th. Now, that camping ban also targets RVs. People living in them have to be legally parked between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. But a lot of the campers we've spoken to say that's impossible because they can't move the RVs that are broken down and don't run. Now, the city's new Safe Park site may change that. As Evan Watson found, it's been in the works for years, and it will be the first of its kind in the Rose City.
Portland's RV Safe Park is ready to go. The last step, moving people who are homeless in, people who could use a safe place to live.
We're going to have a full parking lot. We're going to have 55 vehicles here, maybe up to 70 residents or more.
The parking lot by the Portland airport has 55 spots, plus bathrooms, showers, kitchenettes, and other facilities that will help make it livable. The Salvation Army will run the lot and work with people to figure out what they need to get to permanent housing.
And we really need some time to get to know each and every person that comes to us so that we understand what challenges that they've survived, what challenges there are to future success.
This lot was ready in November, but it's taken close to 7 months for Multnomah County and the Salvation Army to work out a contract, prompting questions about urgency. Bob Lloyd with the Salvation Army says they wanted to be prepared for whatever comes next.
Probably the easiest part of this project is just finding the dirt. The complex part is chatting about all of the issues surrounding pulling, dragging, towing RV units onto the site and how you're going to deal with all of the complex issues that come with substandard RVs.
People who are homeless and live in RVs or cars can't just show up to live here. The city of Portland says its outreach workers will find who's a good fit.
Increasingly, we have better information about who is willing and ready to receive services and move forward in life. So that's a part of the criteria. In this case, obviously, there's many in RVs nearby, and that will be filtered into the whole criteria.
But where do they start? In certain areas with certain demographics? Dan Field, the director of the Joint Office of Homeless Services, says workers won't have to look far, just to another street out by the airport.
We're going to start with folks on 33rd, and then we'll move forward to the rest of the county from there.
The expectation is that homeless people will be living at this RV Safe Park site starting in July. Evan Watson, KGW News.